COVID-19. I just said it, and all of a sudden the hair is on the back of your neck. It's like, hey, everything's the worst. I know, COVID-19, it's awful, it's awful, it's awful. We know it's bad. Is there a way that maybe we can think and find a way to make this a good thing? Is there any way possible to turn this really, really bad soup into something delicious? Our next guest has a couple ideas for us.
That's right. She's managed to find the silver lining. Kellee Marlow joins us this morning from San Francisco. She's an impact entrepreneur and business strategist. Great to have you, Kellee. Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Well, like my co-host said, this has been a very, very challenging time. But you have pursued positivity during 2020. Tell us your thoughts.
I think because of the uncertainty, a lot of people are waiting to see what happens, or they're not quite sure how to move. And it's all about mindset. And if you have the right mindset, you will look for the right opportunities that are there today. So, for example, if you're focused on crisis, you will find crisis. If you're focused on opportunity, where you can be of service, you will find many opportunities where you can be of service. And that's where it's so important right now that you focus on where you can make a difference.
I've talked to some people that have actually found they've had a lot of success in 2020. And they almost have like survivor's guilt. they're like, yeah, I almost feel bad that things are going so well, but yeah, things are going great. How does one thrive during a time like this? Because obviously all these external things are pushing on us and saying it should be negative. It should be negative. How do you thrive?
You have to embrace disruption. You have to say, how do I get creative? There are a lot of problems that need to be solved, and I can do this. And the perfect example are restaurants that went online quickly and offered their full menu, and some even threw in free delivery. And they're thriving because people still need to eat, people are still working. And those that waited and just sat there to see what would happen, they're now in a crisis situation. Yeah. So you have to really respond to the disruption and ask yourself, okay, what can I do differently now that's going to make a difference?
Yeah.
Kellee, you work with entrepreneurs, and I know they have their own set of challenges during this pandemic. You actually have 4 things that you recommend that people can do.
Yes. First, focus on being of service. A lot of people are being self-protective and pulling back. Ask yourself, where can you make a difference? Because people are more likely to trust you and want to work with you. Yeah. Second is being agile and responding quickly. So my restaurant example, for one, there's a company I know who has 2 physical locations, and they rent out co-working space. And what happened was they had to quickly move online and provide the same services in terms of basically building community where people can co-work together and adding services where it would help entrepreneurs who are working from home. And now they're growing to other cities and even other countries. So it is possible, but you have to respond quickly. Yeah. And then third is you have to be savvy with online tools. So for example, there are a lot of retailers who can't really operate without a full physical location, but the smart ones are using Facebook or Pinterest to reach their audience. And they're still selling their products and marketing their products, but now they have to do it differently. They have to engage with their customers online. And with so many more people now online and spending more time online, that's the place to be. Yeah. And then lastly, be creative. Offer 5 products or services for the price of 4. And people will invest if they're getting a good deal today. That's also something that's important. And by the time you get to the 5th product or service that you're offering, you'll come up with other ideas because you're already thinking about it.
You really have
to.
So those are. Yeah, you have to think outside the box. So whatever box you were living in is a totally different box right now. Everything's kind of changed. I mean, how can we take this crisis in 20 seconds or less? How do we take this crisis and kind of put it in perspective? Obviously, we've had months behind us that's been crazy. The next X amount of months are going to be crazy. How do we kind of get a better overlook and say, all right, this is not going to be forever?
I think you have to embrace this reality. I think a lot of people are waiting for everything to go back to normal. We don't know that it's going to go back to the same normal. It may be a different normal when it goes back to the reality of non-pandemic situation. right? Because we're seeing how work has changed, and that we may not have all these buildings filled with workers the way it used to be. So we don't really know what that looks like. So you just have to embrace day to day the disruptions that may be coming your way and be creative about it in your response.
No question about it. Kellee Marlow, it's great having you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, if you want to learn more about Kellee and to get your head in the right mindset, how about you go to spark-conversations.com. It's a great place to start. PR Media, a proud sponsor of The Morning Blend.